Welcome back, guys, to Final Fantasy XVI, where last episode, after making a proposition to Quinton to set up a trio that may help steer Valisthea towards unity in Free's company to complete our final quest, we sorted out some missed things, including slaying the A-rank Knight of the Splendid Heart. We then set out for Origin, saying our farewells as the Rosfield brothers took to the sky on Dion's back, confronting Ultima Prime on our arrival as Ifrit, Phoenix, and Bahamut, and losing the fight, with Dion going out with one final attack that surprised our foe, as now Clive and Joshua staggered towards the final battle.
Clive. They can't be.
But they are. This is the Nexus. A wellspring of life. Yours and ours. As we watch the world stumble slowly to its dark end, it was here we pledged a new beginning. And now, with the ether we have harvested, I shall raise my kin from their eternal slumber. That together we may usher in a new age of reason.
This was never about creation, only self-preservation. You condemned an entire world so that you alone might escape death.
Alone. Him. Alone. Clive. I think I understand. He...
They sacrificed their flesh to become beating hearts of crystal that pumped the land's lifeblood from the depths of the earth unto this very chamber. And thus would they labor still, long after their work was done, had you not set them free.
You meant for us to destroy the Mothercrystals. It's what you wanted all along.
You have our gratitude, Mythos. In this you have served us well. You have both served us well. Welcome home, brother.
Joshua.
I thought... it was me. But it wasn't my grasp that grew weaker. It was theirs that grew stronger.
Joshua! No!
And now we can become one.
Clive.
Don't speak. Shh.
The one possessed of the destructive flames of Ifrit and the healing flames of the Phoenix. This, I once believed, would be Ultima's true form. But I was wrong. I see it now. Why you will never become Ultima's vessel.
I don't care. Just hold on.
Listen to me, Clive. You remember the murals? People once knew that Ultima was their god. That he created them. And they worshipped him, prayed to him, looked to him for guidance.
In vain.
In vain. For he did not listen, did not acknowledge our will, and so we strayed from his path to forge one of our own. So absorbed was he in his own desires, so driven by his own will alone, that he shunned the one thing that could have made him truly powerful. Faith. The same faith people now place in you. Faith that you will fulfill their dream, Sid's dream, of creating a better world for us. Faith that you will follow in Father's footsteps and save those who need saving most. Faith that you will answer Jill's plea to save yourself. The difference is, Clive, that you chose to listen, and that is what has steeled our bonds. Bonds that helped you stand firm when Ultima's pull was at its strongest. His power may be absolute, but so is ours. And so will yours be. With my light in your heart, not even a god might stop us.
Joshua! Don't do it, you'll...
Enough, Clive. My body is too far gone. If the wound does not take me, the curse will. I have always been proud to call you my shield. But now, it is the world that needs you. Thank you, Clive, for being my brother.
Joshua. Look at me, Joshua. Open your eyes! Open your eyes, Damien! Why? Why did you do this? Joshua! Joshua!
And thus does the final piece fall into place. The incantation primed, but one task remains. To empty the vessel.
still here. With me to the end.
Even now, you would deny the inevitable.
As we always have. And always will. On this, my sword, I swear, to shield the Firebird's flame forevermore.
This guy does not, for the life of him, understand will, does he?
You know nothing of magic.
Why not? Well, that would be the perfect time to Zantetsuken now, look at it. That last one a bit early, eh? Holy!
Perhaps this will break you. Countless centuries have I waited for this moment. This moment in which I might revel in my creation, only to find it profaned, and so it must be cleansed. Unexpected. How is it that your will yet endures?
Because it's not so easily broken.
But it can be broken. And I shall see it so. For such is my will.
Try it.
Say, Ultima dragging me in there. If you give me a little bit more time, I'm gonna go limit break you on your ass.
Force feeds these flames. I sense more here than mere will. Is this Logos? Have you truly become
Free? No, I forbid it. You are not a god. You are but flesh and bone. You are not one of us. I created you, all of you. And what is mine is mine to destroy.
Once, perhaps. But we are no longer yours. Our flames are our own, and they burn as one!
Have you learned nothing? Damned is the slave who would turn the scourge upon his master.
Okay, you spot when you're gonna attack. Seems like inside here is safer. Not that I remember what my actual attack prompts are anymore. Okay, there's Spit Flare. Ooh, I meant to like, I was gonna dodge right as soon as I warped in, but again, I guess the timing is... Ooh. Must have got his licks in there. I was like, use brimstone, quick! You're using a lot of cool stuff to me. Hope there isn't just a straight up loss here. And 40? I guess I gotta go in harder than I'm going in, haven't I? I should be using everything. I did not make my escape that time. I was kind of assuming I'd be in. But obviously not. Oh, I thought I dodged that. He's moving this, right? Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, that's annoying. I was going to deliberately block that attack. I guess I should remember that wildfire exists and not just my warp, yeah? Oh, I thought I actually dodged that. Ah, I thought he was in. Seems you can't go in for melee during this time. Well, you probably can. There's probably a gap. Yeah?
No. My will is inviolable. Something is wrong.
You're afraid. You always have been. From the moment the blight exposed what you were, weak, you conceived us to prove otherwise. But the results shook you to the core. For in us you saw yourself, and realized we had the potential to be more than you could ever be, and so you turned your back on your creation. Your back on the world, like the coward you are.
You think you know me? You know nothing, Logos. Nothing. Bathed in light, I stand above you, my rebirth complete. And you, for your defiance, shall pay the proper price. An eternity of anguish.
Anguish. Pain. Suffering. You have known none of these. But we have. So we know what they grant. They bring us together. And that makes us strong.
Thunder roar.
A nice team up move you got there then. Oh, now you're doing melees too. Okay, you got me the first combo, granted. You've got bits of every summon, I see. Oh my god, Titan 2!
My will be done. Tremble. Nice try.
Nice move you got, Biddy. Oh man, you just...
Nice try.
Let the tempest rage.
Okay, you got me with that one.
I will crush you. Dust to dust.
Oh, did you counter that one? My bad. Let myself get got more than I should as well, which is the annoying thing. I'm like, I can counter this, but I'm watching that stagger bar now, and I kind of want to hit... I want to get my good stuff up, if you know what I mean? I can't find a window. Especially if I'm getting battered around like that. I was trying to just walk out of it so I could get into it to then use it then. That looks like a good window.
Defy this. Winds rise. I will crush.
Got it. Now please don't break him. But if you do, I guess that's fine too. I can't lower his health, but lower threshold, of course.
Gale unrelenting.
Now I see why.
How weird, Clive!
Unyielding.
Titan!
Get him out, Clive!
You cannot have this power.
Now the back end, eh?
It is not yours to take. Press forward.
From now.
Darkness spread.
You went in a bit hard then, buddy. Good night to you, sir. I got my hit off. And, if I'm right in saying... Oh, I didn't get it. It's fine, I punched him a lot. I'm totally fine with punching him a lot, to be perfectly fair. I still got this active, I don't want it active. Oh wait! Did you see that? I guess that is one of your base abilities, not one of the other twos. Ooh. That was cool, using a frozen time zone. Annoying when someone's hanging out just in your blind spot, isn't it?
That's my boy! Ice unfeeling! Shiva!
Together!
You don't understand this, Ice.
Darkness, unending.
Odin.
Onward, my son. No, mine is the altar at which you pray. Mine are the eyes that look down upon you all.
And yet still you cannot see. You are no better than us. We are one and the same.
We are not the same. No man might stand beside me. None. Witness my creation.
4 meters, eh? Oh, not the big ones, though. Well, they do spread out. I should dodge out these right time, and if I do, then... Look, guy, can you... What about some normal melee? How about that? You ever heard about normal melee? Hit me! I mean, that's good. Oh, except you followed up with that.
Petulant child.
I guess I can hit it off that, though, if I try to. Oh, yeah, normal melee. Oh, you got me a little bit there. From where I lead this, I gotta realize that everything's spreading, so if I make sure to go to the back, I'll be perfectly fine. Hey, I'm at range. Do you want to attack me with range spells? Not what I meant.
Let all be consumed.
Oh, I'm trying to dig him this first one. It's the second one I did. You gotta realize, buddy, you give me the chance to shatter you, you get me in trouble. What if I would... Oh, okay. No, I did dodge it. And I dodged this one this time. Oh, what? I missed my chance. God, he's got a lot of attacks. And I'm just trying to get that shatter. Do you know what? Oh, you left. That's it. I've had enough of playing all defense. Especially because I'm just getting ultimate for it in the end. Maybe I should be throwing some more spells. Finally. Good luck with that. Oh, what? He's invincible again and I've used everything?
Flames are forgiving!
With me, Phoenix. Forevermore. So sure of your place atop the world, you refuse to acknowledge those below. You chose to remain alone. And so you shunned the one thing that could have made you stronger. Pushed away the hands that could have raised you higher.
I do not need you. You are anyone.
And that is where we are different. I could not have made it here on my own. I carry with me the hopes and dreams of my brothers, my sisters. And it is they who will give me the strength to end your reign.
I cannot end. I am the end.
The early fantasy here is yours. And we shall be its final witness. I said, it's over!
That's another Final Fantasy.
Tell me, what do you imagine will befall this world now that you have gained your precious freedom?
I honestly don't know. But I doubt it will be pretty. A sorry tale of sin and suffering, hardship and pain.
And it was for this that you fought so fiercely? Why?
It's who we are. We fight. We survive. We endure. We don't need a reason. We are imperfect creatures. When we stumble, we reach for a shoulder to lean on. When we fall, we stand back up. We see the horizon, ever out of reach, and still we march on. Certain the answers lie just beyond it. Because that is our way.
My congratulations. Relish this victory, knowing that you have but delayed the inevitable. Your world is already dead. May you enjoy an eternity on its blackened husk.
It seems Ultima's power was too great for this vessel all along.
But while I have it, perhaps I can use it to set things right. And see Ultima's legacy. Bearers, dominance, crystals, magic, consigned to the flames. Even if it means the end of me. These are our terms.
And there are credits. And me going a slight bit. Is this filmed water or rendered water? Because my god.
You the most beautiful thing.
He is, isn't he? What are you gonna call him?
Let me see, let me see. Oh, read little one. Got a smile for your Uncle Gav.
Not so loud, you burp.
What? I was only... Shh.
You're scaring him.
It's all right.
Oh.
A sky of scattered tears, 1,000 years apart. Should they fade, I will not be afraid of the dark. For
if you need a rest, I can take him.
I'll hold you to that.
The world's yours now. Yours to do with as you please. That's what Sid wanted. That's what they both wanted.
And thus did our journey end.
A farewell to fate. It's a bit premature on our credits, eh? Just a little bit. Dead, not. open to interpretation, I guess, unless there's more post-credit stuff. An arm that we saw had been petrified. Yes, and it's weird because you expect Jill to cry. You know that Jill will. It really is the way that Gav reacts to it. It's like secondary, tertiary things. That's the real, like, low blow for the emotions at that point. But hey, we don't know. And that was a Final Fantasy. When you've got a being like Clive, you could say, in the end, that had gained that much power by the end, that would have been out really outside the natural world order, etc. And you know the consequences for people using too much magic, etc. When you're given a lot of it and a task like that, you know that some repercussions have to happen. So going into it and the way everything was being treated leading up to that definitely made it sound like here goes characters off to their doom. Save the world. Righteous sacrifice. Protect their loved ones. Purest form of heroism. Not throwing away their lives for no reason. For the absolute greatest of reasons. But there we go. Obviously, well, I wouldn't say obviously. We'll see this world again in some form or another. Be it via DLCs, be it via sequels, because you never know nowadays. With Square-Enix, we've had multiple games that have had sequels after all. If it's well received, and they've got an engine sitting there, you just never know. Outside of the usual scale, but it's been a while since our last full numbered iteration anyway. And I'm 100% certain, it's more to the point, that we'll see this world in some form via Final Fantasy XIV at the very least. Alliance Raid series, that kind of thing. You never know. You just don't know. Especially when the creators are shared a little bit. They know each other very well. But for a switch to action combat in the more purer sense, the Devil May Cry, the Bayonetta, the various other titles sense, away from turn-based, it's not an experiment. It is a success. It works. They get to tell the story they want to tell very well. It's technically, if you've ever replayed, of course, Final Fantasy games of old that we hold the nostalgia for, a lot longer than, a lot more content-filled, I feel. Most of those games you go back and you complete the main story in like 20 hours. Of course, you can like rush through things. But like you can complete it like 20, 30 hours with you getting everything, just because you've grown as a gamer in some respects. Well, you know what you're doing as well. First playthrough is always the longest. Playing as a kid was always lengthening time, I felt, more than anything. Of course, they've got two different kind of action combats going on in their franchise at the moment as well. So them going the more solo action playthrough with party members that actually did stuff makes sense, because you've got all the 7 remakes, etc. Well, you know, the 7 series going on strong with its different form of the same thing, with party switching, etc. So I guess you didn't want to step on the feet that much when you're making a completely new iteration. It wouldn't surprise me, of course, the main thing was delivering a story and bringing Final Fantasy back to form, some could say, after 15, 13, 12,
reception, etc. I know that those are very like good games and have their redeeming qualities, you could say. I'm not one of those that massively criticizes them. I just see them as different projects doing different systems and different things, and I take it as they are. But there's, been that thing that they've been trying to seek a Final Fantasy VII level game since Final Fantasy VII is one of the things that was bandied about. Like, we won't do a remake of Final Fantasy VII until we can bring one about that is on par on that level. If you were looking at returns to form, if you have to consider it being a return to form, then this is definitely it. A strong story, simple themes, an overpowering bit bad, the conflict between the fantasy and the final, in Mythos and Ultima. Party members you give a crap about a simple but not overriding love story. Your traditional Final Fantasy themes of like environmental issues, etc., general issues that threaten our world. Real life issues is more to the point to bolster it up. And it all really comes down to the point of where you consider what do you consider to be a Final Fantasy game? What do you consider to be a proper Final Fantasy? I know there's been a lot of arguments over this for quite a bit, and I have to say that I've never really been beholden to turn-based as much as everyone else seems to be. That said, I would not mind. It wouldn't bother me if the next Final Fantasy goes back to turn-based. You know what I mean? The things that I've always looked at Final Fantasy as being, especially when growing up, is literally a cutting-edge game title. It's pushing boundaries. It has the stories, the themes that I've said, that environmental, real-world issue themes that might be an issue. Being experimental and inventing and trying new things is kind of how I see Final Fantasy at. That cutting edge is actually a really important thing for me with like graphics and presentation. Of course, nowadays it's more blurred, but back then, that 7, 8, 9, 10 kind of jump around that time, it was hilariously funny in a sense that you have Final Fantasy coming out with the cutscenes and all that it was doing to a point where it made a failing box office-wise movie. But even the same, it was just like light years ahead of everything else that was being done. It just felt like they had it on lock. They were just pushing and doing things that other companies couldn't. So it feels like they've kind of got there now. They're back up to at least on par or just above again with what they put on display here. The visuals, etc. Smoothness of gameplay. I very much enjoyed it. It was fun from start to finish. It built up its story properly. It still tried to do stuff where it tries to get you in with a soft hook with the Phoenix Ifrit battle early on. Went the places we expected it to. Wasn't... It didn't mollycoddle its characters in a sense. It wasn't a happy-go-lucky journey or anything. It was dark. Characters died. Lots more at the end died. Or, well, died. The issue is, there are characters with literal holes where their hearts should be. There are characters we see petrifying. There are characters we see falling from the sky. Most of these things are not equal in a video game or a movie or TV standpoint. You just don't know what happens to someone who you see dies in a cloud of dust. No confirmation, after all, is no confirmation. So we'll have to see how all that turns out. Of course, the real thing for me is if they did like a DLC around this, what time period would be set? Usually, of course, it would be earlier, but I wouldn't mind. And I always say this with a lot of games, I really wouldn't mind an epilogue. Not a long one, but it's just always a bit where I want to check in with the state of the world after the fact. And I feel like I'm not really going to get to be able to do this with this title. With Final Fantasies as a general, you don't get to. I always want to see what happens just a little bit next. How people are surviving. So that's what I'm wondering, if there's a post-credit scene or not. But anyway, I loved it. Took different directions. Most importantly, it was a game that played really well, drove really well. You can skip the side quests if you want and go into the big set pieces and the boss battles. MMO style boss battles works brilliantly in action gaming mediums. Not that action games obviously haven't done it first, but the language, the visual language of an MMO producer coming into this for those boss battles is just super on point because they've had a lot of practice with it. It's to the point where, of course, having played 14, I can see something come down. I go, okay, this might happen next. Like with Holy on the end boss battle, when I got out of that, I'm like, it's taking too long. It's a circle with something in the middle of it. Something's going to emanate from it, and there you go, you get the thing. You can really, like, build up your vocabulary of what people may or may not do. And because of the visual language being so good, the combat flows. I imagine once you know the stuff, you can really dial in everything to be absolutely crazy counters, crazy sequences, and bosses dying in the blink of an eye. 240k was the highest I got in terms of like damage in a stagger, but I'm pretty sure people have done multiple times that by now when they've figured out the system. It was weird with the absorbing Ultima at the end, by the way, I have to say. I was kind of like, there's a slight bit in the back of my mind that, isn't this kind of what he wanted? He gets to be inside you. It's not exactly how he wants to be inside you, but he does get to be. The consumption, the other way around. And even the very last blow that was delivered. The punch to the face. When they remember to make sure that even if it's got all the crazy cutscenes that it shows you, all of that job, that it's still a game. So even though the last hit's been put into like cutscene mode of Mash Square, having 6 9s pop up, it's that thing. It's like, it's a game. And people like big numbers, right? How you know it's the final blow despite there being no fanfare. But equally, why would there be a fanfare? His brother's just died. And I'm starting to wonder how long the credits are. It could be another half an hour credits and I wouldn't know, would I? Thank you, Judicious, for the sub there. Well, I'd like to know, like, your thoughts about it. I know that there was, when the game came out, massive debate on the whole non-turn-based kind of thing. But to me, it just really has been experimenting, pushing things, trying new things in the genre. That's more, to me, of a Final Fantasy thing, being on the lead of everything, than turn-based weirdly is. And that said as well, I have turn-based games to play. Tons of them. That do it really good. The Square's still cranking out. So if that's your issue, and I know it's probably been said a billion times, like, honestly, Octopath Traveler is really good. But I guess not everyone's gonna like it. It's funny how you can be so beholden to something when, like, I'm like, yes, it's turn-based, but I just remember every battle system. We've got the materia, we've got the draw system and the free commands. We've got jobs, we've got... What did 9 have? Weapon skills learned by using the weapons to then get stuff, and then people have their own kind of personal skills, which of course have been somewhat more of a staple with Final Fantasy's turn-based system. Then we had like the summon battling system and that kind of extra thing on top of the switching in and out of characters. Then we had the switch to still kind of like an active time battle system with the gambit system, characters moving around on their own, doing their own thing programmed. And then we had the switch that was more tactical, where it's about switching your character's formation at the right time. That, to me, is more intrinsic to Final Fantasy. The change, the messing around, the experimentation, than anything else is. It's more of a hallmark of it to me. Just might not be it to everyone else. And you might also go, that's just you trying to justify it. It's not. Which is why I think Final Fantasy is really back on that cutting edge. I feel like it didn't do it with Final Fantasy 15. And I think a lot of people did. It kind of tried to go open world, tried to go a lot of things that Western people were liking at the time. It felt, tried a little too hard for that and left the story on the wayside, especially with the whole cutting up piecemeal for its DLCs. They learnt from 15 to get to 16. They really did. Anyway, we're in additional voices now, so let's try and see if we can speed this up with X and move on. That's my thoughts. Is there a post-credits? And how long is this?
Oh. Every time.
Will you light it?
Yes, Mother. Come on. If only I had the flames of an icon.
Icon? Have you been reading that silly story again? Magic belongs in fairy tales, and fairy tales don't boil kettles. You see? Well done. Now, be a good lad and play with your brother until supper.
Come on, hurry! Hurry! All right. Right, let's play the Saint in the Secretary. No, I don't want to be Madu. What do you want to play then? War of the Icons! Again? Well, all right. And I get to be a freak. Right, I'm the older brother. Because the Hermit says so.
Oh, but where one journey ends. Feel that's just a lead into New Game Plus. Which is New Game Plus, now available from the title screen. This option allows you to start a new game with player and item data carried over from a previously completed playthrough. The gameplay mode Final Fantasy is now available for use exclusively with New Game Plus. Final Fantasy gameplay mode offers the following: increased enemy strength and increased player level cap, new gear and items, mode exclusive content as well. As I hear it, it's got new enemy placements, later game enemies earlier in the game, and more. It is the hard mode of the game, which I wouldn't have minded playing on in the first place, but it was gated behind a completion. But that is that. That is Final Fantasy XVI. A worthy, main-numbered iteration. In my eyes, a true Final Fantasy. And it'll be interesting to see if anything more comes for the game. If anything more in future, once it starts getting, of course, like ported way off and PS5s become more available to bring the player base on. But I very much enjoyed it, and I hope you have enjoyed the story too. But now, until next time, until new content or anything like that else comes out, I will see you guys around for our next numbered iteration, maybe? Time will tell. Until then, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed playing yourselves as well if you got the game. Have a great night or a great rest of your day, wherever you are, across the world. And I'll see you guys for more stories, more fantasies in the future. Until then, I say, bye-bye.